Hi, I'm Danny,
Hi, I'm Mel.
and we're the Sheehan sisters. If you haven't seen our faces before, we do commentary slash podcast style videos, and this is our first video of 2026. So, welcome to our channel or welcome back.
As always, grab your coffee, your tea, your juice, your water, your beverage of choice, your snacks. Get cozy because we have a lot to talk about. Yeah, Danny, how are you doing this year?
Well, we're filming this on day 10 of 2026, and I'm already exhausted.
Well, you unfortunately did not start the year off too well.
I did not. I did not enter 2026 healthy, wealthy, and blessed. Always blessed, nevertheless. Let's go. Bringing more poetry to you all. And that's a little nod to something later down the road in this video. Yes, unfortunately, I did start the year off with the flu. I'm pretty sure it's the flu. I don't have insurance right now, so
Me either, girl. We're gonna get that this year.
we're gonna get that. The enrollment period is still open. I got 5 days to call. And what did I say in our last video? No procrastinating in 2025, but for some reason, oh no, 2026. We already procrastinated in 2025. We're not procrastinating in 2026. I have anxiety with phone calls, and I need to get over that because it has prevented me from taking care of myself better. And I really do need to move past that anxiousness around phone calls. So, wish me luck, everyone. If you have any advice on how to get over that hurdle, let me know in the comments.
You got this. You got this. It takes. I feel the same way. I guess I can pass down when I went to therapy. I don't know. Are you allowed to pass down what the therapist told you to other people?
We should, right? I mean, not all of us can afford therapy sessions, so let's enlighten one another what we learned.
I can no longer afford mine, but it's fine. She said, how do you want to feel before you say something to someone? Like, what mindset? And I said, I want to feel confident. I forgot what else I said, but I said confident, right? So, like, before I do something, I have to, like, give myself a little pep talk. And especially, like, phone call. You're like, okay, it's just a phone call. We can do this. And I think that that's kind of like the self-talk is what helps me get through a lot of stuff. So maybe, before you do the phone call or whatever it is you have to do, you just got to be like, I am confident. I know it sounds corny, but just like, look yourself in the mirror. Like, I am beautiful. I'm strong. I'm confident.
No, that's helpful. I didn't like my sister for when I renewed my insurance last year. She wasn't the nicest. So I think that's why I get anxious calling again to renew my insurance. But tell us, Mel, how are you doing? Anything happening in your life that you'd like to share? Before we get into our topics, we will let you know what we're talking about today, but we're doing a small catch up. We're waiting.
We're waiting.
We're waiting.
I thought I was going to have some good news coming into this week and coming back to the podcast, but I'm trying to get a second job because I'm not happy with the job I have, and also it doesn't pay the bills. And I kind of, what's it called? Put the horse before the cart, or put the whatever before the...
Wait, the cart before the horse, right? Because the horse is in front of the cart.
Yeah, I put the cart before the horse. I put my foot in my mouth, and I told the other job that I found another job because I was trying to speak it into existence. And then my hours got cut. And, I'm doing better than I was last year, though, because last year beginning of January, I was unemployed. So I still have a job. So that's good, you know, making small improvements.
I feel like it's tough, right? Because there's like you want to manifest things so you speak into existence, but then a lot of the times when you are sharing news and it doesn't work out, or people put, not to say someone did this for you, but people put bad energy around the opportunity.
And that's what I told myself. I said, don't tell anyone, don't tell anyone, don't tell anyone. And that's why I said I also put my foot in my mouth. I don't want to start this year complaining though. I want to not complain as much this year. And I feel like I'm just kind of venting and stating what's happening more so right now than complaining. But I do want to get better at being less negative in the coming year.
I mean, it's hard when the shit that's going on is our reality.
Right. Danny and I were joking right before filming because we were having a whole discussion about the world and current events, and then we're like, we're gonna get on camera and be like I always think of the Truman Show where she's just like starts selling, even though we're not selling you guys anything. I don't know, maybe some hope.
We're selling ourselves.
No, we kind of are though. Isn't that what life is? That's what I feel like in an interview. I feel like I'm selling myself.
Life is just one big advertisement. And this is why you should hire me. But listen, one positive thing I can say, yeah. I got bangs.
And I love them. They look so cute.
It's the year of the bangs, I think.
Is it? Is that what you think, you know, to segue to our next or our first topic of the year?
Yes. So we do have a few segments today. We're upgrading. We're upgrading in 2026. You know, Mel, do you want to share?
Oh, yes. Okay, I do have good news too. I finally got my mic, updated my phone. I just want to apologize. Maybe not, but like our Christmas video, which please go watch if you haven't watched it. We put a lot of work into it. I'm sorry my quality on my side isn't the best. It's kind of out of focus and blurry and grainy and looks like it was filmed in a different time than Danny's. But please go watch it and listen at least. You don't have to look at the terrible quality, but you can listen to our ghost story. We really like that video, so please go watch it. And from here on out, the quality will not be like that again.
Yes, please go watch that video. We also had issues when it uploaded because there was a section that completely muted my audio, which you didn't export it with any sort of like edits. So I don't know why it muted a certain section on my video. So we had to re-upload. But it doesn't matter that the holidays are over. You can still, you know, feel nostalgic for the holidays. You know, if you didn't get to fully embrace the festivities. If you didn't get to embrace the festivities, join us in that video as we build a gingerbread house and share a ghost story. It's a real ghost story. It's creepy, and we want to know what you guys think about it. So go watch that video and stay with us here. Don't leave yet. Finish this video and then you can go watch. Go watch all of our videos, you know, if you're looking for something to do. But yes, our quality is improving, so we appreciate anybody who has been watching, regardless of the glitches.
It adds to the spookiness and the paranormal activity of it all that we had issues with that video.
We do have segments today. We're trying to be better with our timing as well, but we also don't want to stop a conversation if we feel like it's flowing and we feel like we still have more to say. But we are trying to stick to a certain marker to like move on to the next topic. We'll see how that goes. But our first topic is actually going to be about pop culture. And we wanted to say what we think will be some upcoming trends of 2026. So Mel, do you have something you want to share? What do you think will be an upcoming trend this year?
Well, I was gonna say, since you mentioned your bangs, do you think bangs are making a comeback for real this year?
Well, it's funny because people are saying that 2026 is 2016 coming back around. And I was just thinking because I remember when Selena Gomez, she had her hair at one point super long and then she had it wavy or super straight and she had the blunt bangs with it. And I thought that was such a cute look for her. And I was like, when did she have that hairstyle? And I looked it up and she did have her hair like that in 2016.
Not a coincidence.
Not a coincidence. But also, Hannah Montana is reaching its, I think it's like the 20-year anniversary. And Miley Cyrus just recently debuted her hairstyle, super long and wavy with the bangs, and she's trying to replicate Hannah Montana's wig. So I don't know, maybe bangs are in this year.
All right.
I'm also not the type though to really focus on styles of the year. Because I feel like whenever I feel like I want to cut my bangs, I do it regardless if it's trendy or not. But I was telling Mel before we started filming, like I know everyone goes into the new year of like, oh, new me, and like want to revamp. Listen, sorry. Like I said, I'm getting over being sick, but I just want to revamp my style. And Mel and I were saying that we were like, I've looked back at old photos of myself and I'm like, okay, where's she at? I know she's in there, you know, gotta bring her back out. And I'm just trying to, you know, make myself feel better. It's not for anybody but me.
Exactly. And that's all that matters. But I agree with you. The 2016 is coming back. For some reason, it's a big year. It was a big year for millennials. If you know, you know. It was just very important. And Danny and I might have a little something come in. So check out our shorts or follow us on Instagram and check out our reels because we might give you a little bit of a nostalgia.
I know we don't post on that page or our poetry page. If you see it down below,
It's coming back. 2026. We're back. We always say we're back. It's kind of like just a joke between Danny and I at this point. But we're back and we're gonna be posting everywhere all at once. Everywhere all together all at once.
So what trend are you thinking will be upcoming this year?
Well, I also think about how like each generation kind of looks back on the previous decade and romanticizes it and goes back to it of like the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the O's. So next is the 10s, which is weird to even say, but we're getting there, you know? And I'm trying to think of like the trends of the 10s.
You know what just came to mind for 2010? Around that year, I'm sure people still wear this, but like you'll have like stockings and then you'll wear shorts over it.
Yes, I still do that.
No, it's cute. I like that style. Also, is skinny jeans gonna come back? I still wear skinny
jeans too. I love skinny jeans. I do also like the ones that flare out. Like right now I have kind of more of a boot cut right now. But I love skinny jeans. They never left my closet.
I don't love skinny jeans. I need to like go. I haven't been clothes shopping in a long time. So unfortunately I wear my skinny jeans and I really only have one pair, a black pair.
All the jeans I try to buy have like some stretch to them. I'm really sad. I got the pants I have now at a thrift shop and they're super cute. And I remember when I bought them, I was going like this. I was like, oh, there's space, there's room. And I'm wearing them right now. The room is gone already. It's been only like a month since I bought these. But maybe I'm just bloated. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But I'm just sad because I was like, I got really happy that I found pants. They're not jeans. They're kind of like corduroy style. But I was so happy I found pants that fit. And now they're not really fitting. But it's fine. It's fine. We're happy.
I think body positivity is coming back.
That was a big thing in 2016 also, in the 2010s.
I think, listen, I understand that there is an obesity epidemic in the country, and honestly, like, these weight loss drugs have helped people. The people who really need it, you know, I'm glad they've gotten on it and they've been able to change their lifestyle. it's unfortunate that it's become so accessible that people who don't even need it are using it, because everyone has some sort of body dysmorphia, and it's like no matter how small you are, you still want to attain
Right, I
some
don't
sort
really
of
think
body
I'm complaining
type.
about I'm not really complaining about my body. I'm happy with my body. It's just like when you're trying to buy clothes, it's frustrating. But that's just like what happens for women more so than men. Our body fluctuates so much.
No, I don't think you're complaining about your body. We also just women. They've made a lot of shitty clothes for women. They really have. They really have. At one point in my life, all I used to wear was leggings. And I know that's a thing now, like especially on TikTok, the TikTok girlies are wearing leggings or like athletic wear, and we've talked about this in our previous video. But this was years ago, and I remember somebody commented on me always wearing leggings.
Who was this? And why did they say that?
Sorry, of course, we have the appearance of Nala in
She's
2026.
like, I'm alive and well, everyone. Hi.
she wanted to say Happy New Year.
All right, sorry, I did cut you off as I do sometimes.
We always cut each other off. That's why it's hard to edit, because we're like, wait, whose audio should we use?
One more trend I think is gonna come back. Well, I guess two more. One more is like more colors. I just feel like the world used to be colorful, and I need that to come back. And I feel like it's a form of expression, obviously, but like also a form of, what's the word I'm looking for? Rebellion in a way. We gotta I'm losing it. We just started the video. I'm already losing it. I want to bring more color into the world, and I think we all, as a society, need to bring more color into the world. And it's not a coincidence either, I don't think. Sadly enough, 2016 and 2026, we have the same president. So I think activism is always trending, but it's gonna rise again.
Mark our words. And speaking of activism, there was a topic Mel and I have been wanting to talk about. I know, you know what I want to mention before I move on? I'm tired of the, oh, this is old news. Like, if you don't hop on it the minute it happens. I feel like you can talk about a topic that has happened from years ago, months ago.
We can talk about whatever we want, whenever we want.
Exactly. So this topic was pretty popular the last couple weeks. And Mel and I have been talking about this off camera. And we decided to share it with you all, and we also want to hear your thoughts about it. This is kind of a combination of pop culture and politics, but we did want to talk about Nicki Minaj and her pivot into MAGA and her pivot into conservatism, which, to be honest, we don't really know if she's always been conservative. I mean, there has been times where she's been publicly open and seemed like she was leaning left. And she is a big face of the LGBTQ plus community, the queer community. And so many of her supporters are from those communities. So we wanted to have a brief discussion about our opinion on this, because we were, and we're saying it were, we were big fans of Nicki Minaj, especially because she's born and raised Queens, New York. And she was one of, we didn't grow up with Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown. Like, when we were growing up, our major woman rapper was Nicki Minaj. So we were definitely inspired by her. and we have some thoughts we wanted to
Yes,
share.
like Danny said, we're born and raised in Queens, so seeing someone, and we went to the same middle school as Nicki Minaj. Obviously not at the same time because she's older than us, but just to give you an idea of like, you know, we grew up in a similar neighborhood. We grew up going to the same middle school literally, and like this, she just meant a lot to us to see someone, and I know that she meant even more to women of color, to like Danny said, the LGBTQ plus, like she just gave hope to people where you're like, okay, if she could do it, I could do it. Even though we're not trying to become rappers, just like making it out of New York is just a kind of a thing for people who grew up in New York, especially in Queens. And we went to her concert 2 years ago. And yeah, like we were big supporters of her, even though she's had some questionable things in the past. We loved her music. And I think it goes with our last topic. Ironically, in 2016, she released a song called Black Barbies, which was a remix to Black Beatles. And she has a line in it where she literally says, "Island girl, Donald Trump want me go home." You know, talking about back then too, Trump was trying to get rid of immigrants in 2016. He's doing that now again in 2026. And it's just a weird pivot where we're like, has she always been conservative, or was she only saying these lines because it was trendy? Was she just pretending to get the support? And a lot of people do that. They move back and forth between the left and the right, especially celebrities, where they're like, well, what's going to make me the money, and what's going to get me attention, and what's going to make me popular?
And that's something I was thinking about. I feel like she made a major move to pivot into the right because she's looking for power, and you know, whatever her motives are, we don't really know. It's unfortunate. I was thinking about this because we were talking about trends. I know it's been popular to be conservative, and that's, you know, it's always been around, but it's been on the rise. And as we know, there's always cycles in life. So just as much as conservative, I'm glitching,
Not in my vocabulary.
Okay. Just as much as conservatism is popular now, we're going to cycle back to liberalism, and we're going back to, as people want to say, quote unquote wokeness. I don't really like that word, but I'll use it for the context, because I do think there's going to be a point, couple years from now, maybe sooner than later, that Nicki will regret, maybe not regret, but she's going to backpedal.
I think she's already regretting it because she deactivated her Instagram, because I went to go unfollow her and was like, oh, where's her page? So I feel like she already knew the backlash was going to come.
But she had deactivated her Instagram a while ago. I know Nicki Minaj was on stage with Erica Kirk for Turning Point USA. I did watch bits of her on stage, and I did feel like it's performative. She is doubling down, which is that was the trend of 2025. I don't know if that will continue in 2026, but people love to double down, and I do think that she really turned her back on her fan base. And unfortunately, there are still plenty of people that will ride the wave with her and still support her, and they think that she has a big master plan, and she's doing this, and we're all gonna realize why.
Well, people said the same thing about Kanye, and it's like, here we are, how many years later? There was no master plan, just some kind of psychosis or something. So I see people comparing her to him as well. And unfortunately, what we're seeing with Trump's presidency the second time around is more and more people going to the dark side, and you may see it in even your real life people you know, where you're like, holy shit, like, when did you have these thoughts? Did you always have these thoughts? Is this how you really feel? It's exposing people for better or worse, I guess.
As much as her fan base, think they know her, we don't know these celebrities personally, and that's something we've talked about multiple times. And that's on a rise too. Stop idolizing celebrities, and it's a fine line, because so many people have been inspired by Nicki or their favorite celebrity, or their music has saved them, or they've stopped them from like harming themselves, and this person was an inspiration to them. So I can understand like why people get attached to these celebrities.
No, it does. It makes me sad because I've been deleting songs of hers off my playlist, and I'm like, I really can't listen to any more of these songs. And like, obviously, there's so many more artists out there. There's so much more music out there, and it does kind of give you time. It does make you kind of be like, okay, let me look into other artists and let me find new music and new people to support. But it definitely is a sad moment where you're like, okay, I can't support this thing anymore. And I feel like that's what's happening in America overall with books, and we'll get into this in another segment of just like TV shows and movies and books, where you go, okay, this isn't the person who wrote this, or the people who made this, they're not good people, so we can't support them anymore. Like, we see it happening with the Harry Potter fandom, like J.K. Rowling, like just so many things that you once loved, and you can still have love for the art. I don't know, it's a tricky topic of like separating the art from the artist, because it's like, but this art is what funds them, and do we want to continue to fund this person? So again, it's a double-edged sword where you kind of have to be like, I gotta let it all go, and it's hard to depart with. Like you said, there's music out there that have like literally saved people's lives or motivated them to become who they are. And we see that a lot with celebrities, where you're like, well, this is what inspired me to become a singer myself or become a rapper myself. And we're not going to take away, again, it's like, should we take it away or should we not take it away? It's like, on whether we like it or not, she inspired other female rappers who don't have the same ideals as her. But you can say that for so many other artists, not just musicians, where it's like, okay, but this movie inspired this actor and all of that. I don't know. It's just a tricky topic. I feel like I'm saying words but not really saying much right now, but it's just, this is what we're going to have to learn to navigate as a society.
I agree. And, there is arguments to be made on both sides for separating the art from the artist. I think it's always also going to be a case-by-case basis, really. That being said, I think if we knew, I wanted to point this out, I feel like if we knew more artists and celebrities' political views and who they voted for, I think we would, A, be surprised, and B, realize that all of these people that we may once loved actually is voting against a lot of people's best interests. And people do want to say, oh, put people's political views aside. Why does that matter? It matters because we're in a climate right now where people's lives are being taken, human rights are being stripped away, people are dying, people are getting killed and kidnapped. And when we think about being a collective, we think about caring about other people's interests outside of ourselves. And that's the importance of humanity.
Right, like how much more impactful would it have been if Nicki Minaj got on the stage with Zohran Mamdani in her city of New York And you know, that would have been a whole nother, like, that's what we would have expected from her, from what we know. But like you said, we don't really know these people. We don't really know what their thoughts are and their opinions are. And then you look at an artist like Macklemore, who makes music literally saying fuck ICE and fuck Trump, and speaks out whether it's going to make him money or not. He's like, I'm going to make this song and I don't care what anyone thinks. And that's what you want from your favorite artist.
And I do want to make a statement because, you know, Mel and I, we always talk off camera that activism is part of us. You know, it's something that we have been drawn to for years now. For a good decade, because we were out protesting back in 2016.
Right. Obviously, when you're a child, I mean, they're children now. You look at Greta Thunberg. How's her last name? Greta. You guys know who I'm talking about. Okay, that girl, that's who I wish I was when I was younger. And I'm happy that the younger generation is starting sooner and sooner. But it wasn't until, like, I think we became 18, 19 when we were, like, in the world and more aware of what was happening.
Right. And it's also like when you don't care about politics per se when you're younger, because you're just like, oh, I just want to like live my life and party and, you know, do all these fun things. And then, you know, obviously most people get more into politics as they get older because like their frontal lobe developed and they can understand things better. Of course, now with social media and technology, we have a lot more information accessible, so we can be informed more and we can understand what's happening in our government a lot better and a lot quicker. But before we move on to our next segment, I wanted to make this clear because, you know, Mel and I were saying, like, we still want to make sure that we're pointing out issues that we feel like needs to be called out, especially as white women. We always say this. And I just want to make it abundantly clear that we do stand with the LGBTQ plus community. We stand with our trans community, and we really want anyone that feels uncertain about where we stand to know that they're safe here, and we love you.
Yes.
Do you have any more thoughts about Nicki before we move on?
It's just disappointing and disheartening, and her fans have supported her already through a lot of questionable acts, and I don't understand people who are continuing to support her after this. And we're gonna see it happen more and more, unfortunately, the rise and the fall of celebrities coming out and showing who they really are. And like Danny was saying, that's why we can't idolize these celebrities. And more, Danny and I are moving away from that. Obviously, we have a lot of videos where we talk about celebrities and pop culture, because that's what we kind of grew up on when we were younger. Our house always had magazines in it, and we watched TMZ, and we were very much in that world. And as we get older, we're kind of moving away from that, but it still has an impact on us and affects us because we love music and we love art and we love movies and TV shows. And it's just, I don't know, like, we want to see more people speaking up and speaking out and going against all this conservative bullshit. And I don't know. We love not everyone, but we love everyone.
We love everyone that loves everyone.
Yeah. We care about people who care about people.
And it really shouldn't be that hard to care about others, but apparently it is.
It just astonishes me. I feel like that's why I don't really have much to say, because I'm just like, I don't understand that form of thinking, especially, again, when it comes from people who you least expect it to come from, and you're just like, wow, that's crazy.
And when I was looking at other videos that were talking on Nicki Minaj, I did see comments and they were naming other rappers that did vote for Trump. So to be fair, she's not she's making it known in a big way, and I think some other celebrities are being strategic not to make it known who they voted for. But do your research.
Make it known that they're against it. Like I know Mark Ruffalo, who's an actor. I know I'm going into another area of art, but I know he's very outspoken and is a big activist. So you just gotta support the people like who aren't afraid to speak out, like I said, and I think if we show more support for those celebrities, because again, art is always going to be a part of our life. Like we just said, we're always going to listen to music and consume art and media in some capacity. So I think just showing love and support to those that aren't afraid to speak out. Like Doechii is a great female rapper, and she has spoken out about a lot of different big issues in the world. So,
And I know some of you are probably thinking, oh, well, why should we care? And what does it matter who they voted for? These people have so much influence. We care because what they say affects millions of other people, especially people who blindly love them.
right, because there's a lot of people who unfortunately don't think for themselves, and Nicki Minaj has a cult following, whether you want to admit that or not. Like the Barbs, everyone knows them. Same with Trump. Sadly, he has a cult following. So when someone else with just as big of a following joins in, it's like these are the masses of society. It's not a joke. It's not like, oh, a few people, whatever, like fuck these celebrities, I don't care, or like, oh well, I didn't like her anyway. Regardless of your opinion, this is what is happening in the world. And then it goes not just in America but to other countries. Like she is an international celebrity.
And listen, if you're here watching us and you don't agree with our views, that's perfectly fine, but this probably isn't the channel for you. And we're making it clear where we stand. So again, you don't have to agree with us, and nor do you have to be here.
Right.
What were you gonna say?
Nothing. Anyway, let's move on. There's always going to be a political segment in our podcast, pop culture, politics, which go hand in hand in American society.
Of course, especially when you have people who are like slipping in their political identities within these forms of media. You'll see it in movies, you'll see it in TV shows, you'll see it in books. This is why we're trying to build back the critical thinking and the critical analysis, because we want to be able to decipher the messages that are being fed to us.
Exactly. Okay. Our next segment here on the Sheehan Sisters podcast, here at the DMS Productions.
Love it.
We are starting a new, well, all of these are kind of new, but this segment is our creator spotlight segment. And each podcast, we want to shine the light on a creator, maybe more than one, but this week it's just one.
We've been saying for a while we want to do a creator spotlight, and it's happening, 2026. Who do we have for this episode's creator spotlight? I don't know if we'll do it every episode, but we'll definitely be incorporating it a lot more.
I follow this person on Instagram. Their username on Instagram is Cure for Paranoia. Their name is Cameron McLeod, and in their bio it says that they're a preschool music teacher by day, and I like that it says they're a professional procrastinator by night. So maybe, Danny, you can add that to your bio.
Well, I would be more of a procrastinator by day, because at night I come alive. I thrive at night. I wish the world operated in a way where the night people can have their time, you know? Not everything needs to start at 6 a.m. for some of us.
Right.
Like, we want to start our day at 6 p.m., you know?
That's insane. But sure, yeah, I love it.
It's only insane because it's not the reality. Listen, we're all different. We all have different circadian rhythms.
And that's why it was meant to be for Danny and I to live on different sides of the country so that we can work at the right time together.
Exactly.
So they make music and they do a lot of posts where they talk about things that are happening in society, a lot of things Danny and I were just talking about, political ideologies, and they rap. I feel like rap and poetry go hand in hand. It's kind of spoken word. So they did a video when the whole Nicki Minaj thing first happened, and they rapped over the beat of Super Bass. Unfortunately, we can't play that because of copyright, but definitely check out their page and go through all of their videos. But I'm gonna play a video that I don't think is gonna get us copyrighted.
If for some reason we may have to speed it up so it doesn't sound too directly like the music, but you'll see when we insert it in editing how we end up incorporating it.
Okay, so this one actually doesn't have music, and this is about current events happening right now, and it actually is a perfect segue for our next segment, and you'll see why in a minute.
They not playing by the rules, so why the fuck are we? They broke in like a dozen laws this year. It's been a week. And now ICE killing innocent civilians in the street while news outlets is lying about the videos we fucking see. They not playing by the rules, so why the fuck are we? It's a list of pedophiles they still won't release, by the way. MAGA Christians justified his death, but not Charlie's. It's got so bad that monks been walking around the country for our peace. They not playing by the rules, so why the fuck are we? It's kid abusers, Ku Klux Klan, and Nazis on 18. And we expect these people to play fair. You kidding me? The Daily News is Trump can't do that, but he did. Rinse and repeat. They not playing by the rules, so why the fuck are we?
We wanted to show more of this artist's videos, but like we said, a lot of the beats he uses are from really popular songs, and unfortunately, YouTube will strike our video for copyright infringement. But go check out his page, give him a follow, give him a like, give him a comment, and support smaller artists. Even though he has a pretty big page so far. I mean, relatively, I know that's all like subjective, and we want to boost people that are on the right side of history. So I thoroughly enjoyed his spoken word. We are going to pivot to our next segment, which is about art. If you didn't know, Mel and I are artists, we're writers. We've been writing for a long time now. Mel has been writing a lot longer than I have, but it's been over a decade for me, and I don't know where I would be if I didn't discover I was a writer. It has helped me so much, and I can't wait to see everything that my writing will become, because I just have an archive of stories and poems that are just sitting in the computer. And I was telling Mel, I'm like, we need to start incorporating our poetry on our podcast, because we have such great pieces and we always want to intertwine our talents and our passions. And we do sometimes we do have trouble speaking, but writing allows us to articulate ourselves properly, and it lets us get out what we're feeling the best way we know how by writing it. And I was telling Mel that we should incorporate one of our poems, not every podcast, but at least a few times in our episodes, so that we are showcasing that side of us. We never want to let it disintegrate or dissolve. It's always something that is a part of us, and we want to be able to share that with you all, especially those who can relate and those who enjoy poetry. And we want to utilize our writing to inspire and to showcase an expression of us that we may not be able to show in other ways. I said a lot. I rambled for a minute there.
Right. So we want to have an art segment, a little art show, if you will. And it's not always going to be poetry because we also just love to create. This week it's going to be poetry. Maybe another week it's, maybe we're going to draw or paint because I've been wanting to do that. But it's hard for us to multitask sometimes. And we have a lot of, as always, a lot of ideas. So art segment is going to be a segment that happens, and we're gonna showcase our art of the week. Yeah?
Yes. Do you want to go read your poem first, or do you want me to read mine first?
I want to go first because I feel like yours is more emotional than mine. Mine is a little, not corny, it's important message, and I had mentioned the artist we just showed inspired my poem, and also current events and everything that's happening in the world. So mine is very much like a 1, 2, 3 kind of rhyming scheme poem. And I feel like yours has more depth. Like you take the message I'm saying and put more depth and emotion into it. I'm nervous. I get nervous. Like I feel like Danny is much better at public speaking, even though she's probably not gonna admit it. I feel like when she does her performing, she's done a lot of spoken words. I feel like she's really good at.
I used to do open mics. It really does help to practice.
That's what I'm saying. But I get stage fright. Like I can't. I have stage fright right now and there's nobody in the room.
It's hard. You're being vulnerable. You're showing. Writing is hard. Being an artist is hard because you're pouring out parts of yourself that you have internalized for so long. So now that other people are seeing these parts, you're like, ah. Do you have a title for your poem?
No, I don't. We can think of one maybe. You guys can help me. I'm really bad at titling my work.
Okay, I'm excited to hear. We're excited to hear.
I literally just wrote this like yesterday, so it could be reworked, but I'm not gonna, whatever. I'm just gonna go, okay? When confronted with fear, we have a tendency to either fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And I've been a deer in headlights for way too fucking long. Killing people in the street, it's a tale as old as time. Did you forget about the genocide? The one that built this country and the one on our timelines. The pen is mightier than the sword, but they're rewriting history right before our eyes. And never I'm already stumbling. And never forget, they'll blame the terrorist every time. Call me a conspiracy theorist. I believe in a timeline where we all coexist. As I watch, sorry, guys, there's gonna be either cuts or we're keeping in the fumbling. I watch as the monks walk for peace. The rest of you look like sheep, or more like The Walking Dead, eyes fixated on a screen. Doom scrolling takes on a whole new meaning as I watch the evil spread. None of us makes it out alive. Let me repeat, none of us makes it out alive. Let me simplify that a little more. All of our stories end in death. Oh, I forgot, you're not political. Blame it on your mental health. Blame it on their race, gender, sexuality. You're stuck in the herd mentality. Where is your humanity? Your morality? Humility? I feel like I'm on the brink of insanity. I don't think you understand the gravity of it all. The empire must fall. I stumbled through that a little bit, but this is my first time reading it out loud.
Love it. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for listening.
I feel like it does it does match my poem as well. I wrote my poem back in June of 2025, and I haven't really posted it anywhere. I was going to post it on our poetry page on Instagram, but we haven't been posting on that app in general. So it's just been sitting in my Google Docs, and I'm glad I can finally share it with the world.
I was telling Danny I want us to clip this segment, and we could do ours separately, like mine and yours, and post it on the Remedy. Even though I was stumbling through mine, I feel like that's just kind of a part of life and speech. Anyway, let me know what you think. Maybe you'll see this again, these poems resurface.
Okay, I'm getting nervous too. I don't know why reading poetry gets so nerve-wracking. Yeah, I have like a little in my stomach, but it's fine. Okay. History repeats itself. The eerie certainty of cycles finding their way back around. This will be the new ice age. A coldness that cannot be contained in the hearts of unholy henchmen, holding humans hostage as hell-bent headmen dangle lives over imaginary lines. Once, a held hope of hell freezing over, yet this version of hell freezing doesn't help the heavenly, but rather heartens the evil. Suspending many frozen in fear. Without the conscious consideration of compassion and comprehension of collective meltdowns to combat such an iciness. The beginning of a civilization coded in carelessness and carbon copies cramming their craniums with content. Frozen in front of a screen, scrambling for sensitivity. When lives are stolen, shattered, or shot down. Dear you, reading this. These words are frozen here on this paper or screen, and I wish I could say much has changed, but I'm terrifyingly dreadful of what we have seen and will see, and what I eventually will no longer witness. But you will, reader. You will be frozen inside your own piece of paper, perhaps bloodied or balled up in a trash bin along with the rest of your freedoms. It will repeat. It will repeat. It will repeat. And there is not enough ink in the universe to document all the harm. History has always found a way to hate, whether by boil or freezer burn. Poem.
Yes. See, I feel like yours is articulated with more oomph.
I haven't read it as like I haven't read it out loud. I have. I read it to Theo, my partner. But yeah, it's intense.
It's so good. I love it.
Thank you. I love it, but I hate that I had to write it.
And again, it's going to be similar messages. And as I mentioned, the artist the creator we just gave the spotlight to, like, we're all going to have similar wording because we're all watching the same thing unfold right in front of us. And it's important. I feel like we have to repeat it. It's funny, your thing is saying history repeats itself, but we also have to repeat ourselves the same message over and over again. And it has to come from different vessels and people and forms of art. And again, connecting our videos all together as we do. That's why someone like Nicki Minaj or any other artist, it matters because they're speaking to the world. And we want more people who have humanity and care to be the ones that are speaking.
Absolutely. And I wrote that over 6 months ago, and it's going to continue to be even more and more relevant.
Yeah. I just had this thought right now. It's like people are like, oh, we need to progress. And it's like, unfortunately and ironically, we're progressing in the wrong, we're not being progressive, but we're progressing in all the wrong ways. We're progressing in anger, we're progressing in violence.
A moment to take a deep breath. Like we said, a lot of the topics we talk about range from very serious and hurtful and painful to consume. But one thing we always knew with our channel is that we want to talk about important and significant topics, and we're always going to incorporate that as much as we can be silly and as much as we can be our comedic selves. We still have that side to us that will always be prevalent in whatever we do.
Of course, and I think comedy's always been rooted in politics and the world. If you look at any successful comedian, they're always talking about, even if you look at SNL, they're always doing parodies of what's happening in the political world. If you look at shows like South Park and things like that, there's always the satirical comedy that's important, and we need a laugh because it's gonna make us feel a little better, and it's strange and it's weird sometimes to laugh at certain things, and sometimes we laugh because of uncomfortability. If you look back at the comedian George Carlin, who our father introduced us to, most of his jokes is speaking out against the world and society. And then again, look at people like, even though I don't really like Jimmy Kimmel, but again, someone like Jimmy Kimmel, Seth Meyers, Jimmy Fallon, they're all comedians who are constantly speaking out. So I don't think there's anything wrong with us still incorporating comedy into what we do.
I don't think so either. I actually have a video idea that I wrote down for a future episode, just to give you all a sneak peek. I mean, we haven't fully decided or fleshed out this idea, but I did want to do an episode or even just a segment talking about comedy and reacting to skits, and of course incorporating George Carlin, because a lot of his stand-up has been circulating and his messages have been proven correct more than ever. And I also want to bring up shows that we grew up watching, like Mad TV. So stay tuned for that. We're going to always combine the worlds, you know, like Mel said. Comedy and politics do go hand in hand, and that's basically what you'll get with this podcast, is a combination of both. And with that being said, let us know what you thought about our poems. If you are a writer, a poet yourself, and you have something you want to share in the comments below, put them in the comments. And I'm the type of person that thinks anybody can write. I think anybody can write a poem. I don't feel like you have to necessarily identify as a poet or a writer to be creative, or not to be creative, but I don't think you need to identify as a poet or a writer in order to create a poem.
Right. And to be creative as well. Like, I think you can do art. Like I said, we're going to do more forms of art, and it doesn't mean that we feel like we're poetry. We do feel like that's our thing, but like, you know, if we do painting or whatever else it is, I don't feel like that's something I'm an expert in, but it's something I enjoy doing. And I don't think, like, you don't have to consider yourself a painter to paint or a singer to sing. Like, you know, you can enjoy life and do things for the fun of it.
Right. That's something Mel has instilled in me, because so many people, and this touches upon something you mentioned earlier, so many people think like, oh, I can't show you what I created until I've perfected that craft. But Mel would always say, like, you know, you don't need to be an expert on something in order to either A, start it, or B, showcase it, right? Like, if you like to paint and you didn't go to art school, or you don't have that natural talent for it, but it's something you enjoy, then do it. Be the painter. Showcase your painting. Showcase your art. It doesn't matter. And that's the thing too. I was thinking about this because I like to sing, right? And listen, I don't think I'm a great singer. I don't think I'm horrible either, but I also don't think that it's something I'm like getting on an app and being like, listen to my voice, you know? But there are some people whose singing is really what's the word I'm looking for?
Not pleasant to the ear.
So, just to lighten the mood before we wrap up today's video, and just to preface, this does not showcase my singing talents, okay?
I have no idea. Sorry.
What?
I have no idea what's about to happen. Danny told me she has a surprise for our first video back, so I'm excited.
Yes. You know, I'm someone who likes to make up jingles, okay? So, if I had a camera on me 24 hours, I would have so many funny moments, and I would be giving these commercials some jingles to incorporate. So, you know, it's the new year and we all want to get motivated. So I thought I would.
I'm ready.
I thought I would make an alarm clock jingle, okay? So if you all need something to help you get out of bed in the morning, this is for you.
Is there music too?
What? I am the music.
Okay, no, you got your laptop. I thought maybe you you produced something.
Okay. Wait. Okay. You ready? Wait, I have to share it, right? So that you can hear it properly.
You pre-recorded this? I'm confused okay, I see what's going on now.
What did I do? I opened up my record app and I blessed the app with my beautiful voice, okay? That's what I did. So this is for anybody who needs help getting up out of bed in the morning.
You got things to do. You got things to do. You got things to do. You can't snooze. You can't snooze. You can't snooze. You can't lose. Let's start the day off, right? You're gonna be alright. Let's start the day off, right? You're gonna be alright. Let's start the day off right. Let's get up and start the day.
That was amazing. I loved it. As someone who presses snooze constantly, that was great.
My partner did say he would probably like throw my phone if I had that as my actual alarm.
That's funny.
But you know what? I know there's somebody out there who would appreciate this.
Yeah, someone take that, put some music behind it, remix it, do all the things.
I'm really coming into this year showcasing all my talents, and I just want to be able to really motivate people because I'm such a positive person. I'm such a positive person, and I really think that's one of my strong suits. So
As I mentioned before, Danny is a lot more theatrical and performative than I am. But this is why I like to encourage people, because I do think she can sing. Obviously, that's not showcasing, but she can sing, whether she's going to admit it or not. But I always want to push people to have fun, even though I'm a very reserved person. But I feel like if I motivate other people, maybe it'll motivate me. Like, Danny is one of the few people I can be a little silly around, even though I'm still a very serious person. But yeah, I think that just comes from, like, you know, childhood trauma, being bullied and whatnot. You know, I'm still working through it as a 31-year-old. It's fine. But it's hard for me to come out of my shell. It's very comfortable here. But again, Danny definitely pushes me out of it. And we can feed off of each other and our jokes and our wittiness. But when I see that other people have something, I want to push them out and into it, because I feel like the reason I'm saying that is because I feel like a lot of people kind of put me down, and then even when I'm in situations still as an adult, I like start to feel uncomfortable or awkward, and like I want to be around people who are going to uplift me and support me and want me to also put myself out there and not to be like the butt of the joke. Like, I'm not doing this like, ha ha ha, look at you. I'm doing this like, oh my God, that's hilarious and funny and I love it.
No, I feel like there's so many elements of my personality that a lot of people don't get to see, but I also don't have friends, so
You do. Maybe not close.
I do.
Close friends.
No, I do have friends. And that, I feel like that's a tell though, when you can really show those silly parts of you, then you know you're around your people.
Yes, I agree. And again, it's hard. It takes me, 3 to 5 years to warm up to someone. So
But listen, if you need me to write a jingle for you, like if someone gave me a product and be like, here, make a song up for this, I think I could do it.
I think so too.
And you know what? This is out in the world now, and I really hope that there are people that are listening to my voice early. Because I'm not a morning person. I'm not a morning person.
I was just going to say, it's very ironic considering the fact that you don't like to get up in the morning.
But imagine, put your phone, and they say this, put your phone across the room so that when your alarm goes off, you have to get up to go get it, and then that's going to force you to stay up. But imagine hearing that, and you're like, wait, let me run to shut this off as fast as I can.
I put my phone across the room and then I get up in the morning and I grab it. I always have 2 alarms. One for the alarm for me to grab my phone and snooze it and then go back to, I don't snooze it, I shut it off and then I go back to bed, and then I know the second alarm is coming.
That's fair.
I always need like the little extra, like, your bed's always the most comfortable right in the morning for some reason. Like right when you have to get up, all of a sudden everything feels like amazing. You need that extra like few minutes to savor. That concludes our art segment for this episode.
Yes, we are going to wrap up. We have to at this point. We have no other choice because, as always, there's still some technical difficulties.
And once again, we've been filming for 2 hours, as we do. I think our projection was 1 hour and 30 minutes or something like that, so we're only a little bit over what we thought we would be.
But we did want to remind you, we are currently in the beginnings of our book club. We are reading Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. So if you haven't joined, you still have time, because we've been struggling a little bit to finish the book.
Yes.
But we're persisting nevertheless, and hopefully, not even hopefully, by the next episode, we should be done with the book and we are going to discuss it. So you still have time.
This book is literally only, is there like a second book at the history oh, okay, maybe we'll read that. This book is literally only 158 pages. It's not a long read, but again, we are trying to get ourselves back into reading, so it has been a bit of a struggle. I realized I only read 2 books last year, and one of them took me like 6 months to read for no reason. So I've been trying to get better at picking up the book and reading it. It's really good and it's very relevant to everything that's happening. I'm really excited to start discussing it. But yeah, by the next episode, we'll have been finished with it. So get your copy, start reading. And then we already have planned out our next few books. So we'll let you guys know.
Follow along. And stay tuned for the next episode. We will see you next time.
Bye.